Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I am Fancy Nancy here with Christy Flynn, Dr. Patrick's wife, and Renee and Kim, and we are here to talk about sunscreen today. Bree, our lovely host, is actually, of course I did that, right?
Of course you did.
My volume was on my phone. But Bree is missing today. She's on vacation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And enjoying, yeah, in the sun.
sun.
We had an awesome, comment and tell us where you're from and if you enjoyed any lovely weather this weekend, because here it was like
awesome.
in the
Gorgeous.
low
Beautiful.
80s.
Saturday.
It was hot. We're the point of like, let's not complain that it's hot because we just got over it being 40 degrees. So you feel bad about saying that it's hot. But it was really nice. We were all out in the sun and enjoying the weather with our kids and everything. So we still don't have a name yet, so keep commenting and giving us your suggestions for that. We're going to be announcing our new name next Monday.
Keep the ideas
And
coming.
it's a mystery to all of us at this point, so keep sending your ideas so that we have them. But back into the sun and, being in the sun, you can clearly tell that I don't tan. I mean, when
She
we
is
went
tan.
this is
You're
me
tan.
I look so white on camera too. Like it's even worse. I feel like in person it's not as bad, but when we went to Hawaii, it was really important to like do the vitamin D bed and prep our skin to make sure that I didn't get sunburn there. But Christy has some tips for us today about, basically what happens when you get sunburnt and how it all works and
How it all works and what you eat.
Yeah, what you eat.
Can actually affect how your skin responds to the sun. So I did a little research. I used to my husband doing all the research,
Right.
but so I was looking, and of course I can't just take one thing. I'm always looking at a lot of it. So I kind of combined a bunch of things together from like Mayo Clinic, WebMD, that kind of thing. But so very simply, the body's natural defense mechanism to overexposure of UV rays is a pigment called melanin, and that's where you see a tan coming or whatever. It is produced by cells in our skin called melanocytes. Melanin absorbs ultraviolet light and dissipates it as heat. So that's, we want the melanin. So you have very little melanin compared to like Renee. That's just the difference.
Just how it
that's
is.
just how it is. We're all very different. Okay, so when the skin begins to heat up and the body senses this destruction, because to the body that's destruction that's happening, like heating up. So it sends blood to the area to help with the healing process, hence a burn where it gets all red. Okay. It's painful inflammation that can occur as well. Now, so inflammation, you hear the word inflammation, I'm just like, hey, wait, we know all about inflammation. So if we step back and look at this, if we already have a body full of inflammation, our cells aren't going to work as quickly or efficiently to bounce back, to be able to, so the melanin cells to come to the surface to protect, because when they're on the surface, they literally can protect your skin.
Right. So those cells come, yeah.
I was gonna say, so like when we see like people with naturally dark skin, they don't burn as easily because they already have all that melanin right on top.
Right.
So, yeah.
But they have to be careful because it doesn't mean that you can't burn. You might,
So
you just
They
have to be
respond better.
mindful.
Yeah,
You
that's
have
my
to be-
6-year-old. She gets tan so quickly, and she's beautiful and very tan. But because of that, I always think, well, she doesn't need sunscreen, but she does.
Well,
It seems like.
I mean, I think, because I always, if they're going to go out, especially in the water,
Yeah.
because it reflects it, or where you just get
Intensifies,
more,
yep.
yeah, intensifies it. So I'll put something on, and I just side note, I'm sorry, but isn't it the cutest thing? Their little white butts compared to the
Yeah.
I have one. Callista
Yes.
is she's
Oh,
like
yeah.
brown girl.
Yeah, she
and
gets
so
dark.
like
Yeah,
well
she's like
into
Zoe.
like winter, she's so handsome.
So
White
tushy.
I don't think my kids ever went away this year. I feel like they still had it.
Had
And
it.
then
Really?
the sun on Saturday just like intensified. There was like
All
white
came
butts
back.
everywhere running around.
Oh my goodness.
That's so cute.
So going back to inflammation, okay, so the whole point is, what do we need to do? We need to reduce inflammation in our bodies. And because what you are feeding your cells, healthy cell function versus unhealthy cells and cell degeneration.
Sure.
So what you're putting in your body is what your skin cells are made of. So that comes to what? What do you eat? You know, the standard American diet, full of highly processed foods, sugars, grains and breads and gluten filled, anything that's causing all this inflammation. When we switched to being completely clean, you know, like pulling all that stuff out, I mean, it was amazing how the kids, we literally could just let them out. If we're letting them out for, you know, half hour, whatever it is, just to play outside, half the time we would forget sunscreen,
Right.
and they wouldn't burn. I mean, do you see that with your kiddos too?
Yeah, I mean, like this weekend, again, Sid was in the water a lot this weekend. We just got our pool, so that she was super excited. Like, there was no waiting. It was like, I'm going in the pool. But, you know, she ended up taking one of her straps down, never even clicked in my mind. And so she got one strip of burn. But I definitely do notice, my kids, neither one of them burned super easily, but yeah, you can definitely see a difference.
Yeah.
Well, and you want to be able to let them out in the sun. I mean, because of the
Very
vitamin D.
important.
It's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to keep you inside. I don't want to just cover you up with sunscreen all the time, but that vitamin D is important too, to make sure that they're getting those nutrients. And same with the foods. I mean, if you're feeding them the healthy foods, getting all of those, you know, all of the nutrition from, like you mentioned earlier, eating the outside of the grocery store.
Yes.
You know, and the fresh
perimeter of
foods
the
and
grocery store.
not
That's
the
definitely
processed stuff. You know.
And so if you're causing things, but remember, an organic apple can be something that's causing inflammation in your body.
If you're
So
allergic
I
to
mean,
it.
it's about
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's why it's so important to know what is causing inflammation for your specific body and stuff, because ultimately, if you're eating that way, causing inflammation in your body, it's going to stress out your immune system. It's going to result in a vitamin D deficiency and less melatonin production, which, what did we say? That's what's protecting your skin
Right.
ultimately. Okay, so
if
therefore,
you-
what do we do? Eat the perimeter, eat
Yeah.
healthy fats, healthy, you know, proteins and whole fruits and vegetables. Like that perimeter of the grocery store. If anyone wants, I'll take you grocery shopping.
I would totally
That
take
used to
you
be
up
my
on
getaway
that.
when the kids were
Oh
little,
my
grocery
goodness.
shopping by myself.
I love
right?
grocery shopping.
I think we need to do
like
like a giveaway, like for anyone in Green Bay. You win a shopping trip with Christy. I would love that because I never know what to look at. Or I mean, obviously, like real
There's
food.
so much to look.
but
I
just
get
to-
it. I get
to
it.
see some of those labels,
Yeah.
but-
But let's go back though. I want to talk more about vitamin D because, you know, we're talking about this stuff. You know, vitamin D deficiency. How does that happen? Well, you're trying to keep a burn from having. What are you putting on?
Sunscreen.
But you're causing a vitamin D deficiency. Now you have more information about vitamin
Yeah,
D.
I
don't
did
you?
just a little bit of research. I also talked to Dr. Jason, obviously. So we were just kind of going through it back and forth this weekend, just talking about that, noticing the food situation with our kids alone, even like the pre-made chicken nuggets, even though they're gluten-free and whatever, I
Yeah.
can still see a difference because once we do the CSA, once the fruits and vegetables and
Yes.
everything are coming in, I feel like my kids can be out for an extended period of time
forever,
without
right?
having that reaction to
That's
it.
interesting.
And this weekend with projects and stuff, we got, lazy. I don't know if it's lazy or just on a time constraint. So my
Same
kids
thing,
did have
yeah.
like gluten-free chicken nuggets and
Oh,
sandwiches with bread. And, you know, so Sid reacted in a different way like you were talking. It was just definitely intensified this weekend over last weekend. So I did a little bit of talking with Jason just about this stuff. And so vitamin D is an essential component block for functions of our hormones. Okay.
Right.
So if we, I did not write these notes down right. Hang on, let me pull
Here,
this
while
up.
you pull that up, I want to say hi to
Alright,
everybody.
Jill.
Ashley says,
Okay.
I was actually thinking the same thing, white butt, even with dark kids.
Just
Oh,
Doesn't
Ashley,
happen.
that's awesome. And Rachel says she would actually pay to grocery shop with you.
Oh,
So
oh my goodness.
maybe
you go.
maybe we found a new service for Christy. Okay, what
Okay,
was the,
so
what, did you
I
pull
just
up?
wrote down some notes, so I'm gonna read this just because obviously I don't work in it every day like he does. It just flows for him. It's an essential component, precursor, or building block to many functions and hormones that the body makes. We use vitamin D for our immune system to function, to process blood sugar, and to make hormones, and even serotonin, which is the happy hormone. So it's the
Right.
hormone that gets us into a good mood and makes us feel bubbly and active and
Why everybody loves the summer.
right.
Yeah.
It is.
Everyone's happier in the summer.
Well, which is
That's
why seasonal affective disorder is winter based.
Right,
It's
right.
a winter based
Yeah.
disorder
And
because
it's real.
it is very real.
Mhm.
And so our body does not make vitamin D.
Right.
So if we're not out in the sun and we're not supplementing our body, we're basically not getting it
Not
at
getting
all.
vitamin D, which and that's something that's really easy to test for.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
you can easily get a test and
Yeah.
take vitamin D.
Oh,
It's
sure.
very easy.
And up it and probably notice a huge difference right away too because of that.
I think that it's, well, funny story. So I had been going through a lot of testing trying to figure out what was going on. And me and Bree were actually talking one day and she's like, when was the last time you tested your vitamin D? Like I'm talking, I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to go and hang out with the family. Like I didn't want to do anything. And that is not me. I usually am on to like 7 projects before I finish one.
Right.
And so we tested it and I was like in the 20s. I think mine was like 23.
And what's
And it
what's
should
the-
be.
You're supposed to be what, and aren't you?
Oh, I thought it was over 100.
I thought it
but
was
I
over
could be
100.
making
Don't
that
quote
up.
us on this.
Don't quote
It's
us.
high.
We'll double
Ask
check,
a-
but I'm
ask a
pretty
doc.
sure it's supposed to be over 100.
Ask a doc.
We're
I'm
not
gonna ask a
like-
doc.
Dots, put it in the
Yeah.
quotes. Put it in the
Put it in the
comments.
comments. What is
At-
vitamin D
Right.
supposed to be at?
So at 23,
Oh
it
my
wasn't.
goodness.
I
Your
wasn't
tank was,
surprised.
like, depleted.
Yes, and that's funny because that's exactly what Jason, how he kind of used it. He's like, it's a gas tank. We use it, use it, use it, use it, use it. But if we never refill it, we're just
Right.
running out of it.
And in the summer, we have such an easy access to it by just being outside.
Exactly. But so according to him, our body uses 5,000 international units per day. So living in Wisconsin, you should actually be preparing your body for winter, so it should be 10,000.
Oh wow.
Because you figure in the winter, how else are you going to get it besides supplementation? So the sun that you're getting outside, is going to deplete it a little bit. So if your body doesn't have it already stored, and like he said, we don't make it, so
Right.
we're just
Mhm.
we have
You
nothing.
have to supplement.
So you have to
Yep.
supplement,
So up
especially
here, living in Wisconsin.
have
if you're
to.
here in Wisconsin.
Capital letters have to supplement. So that was the little bit of research I did, which I found amazing because I think that it's so obvious in the winter months, especially in Wisconsin or in a climate like this. Everybody's like, I don't want to do it, or it's the weather, I'm not. And it's
really
amazing
sad.
'cause
Surprised
my
it's
mom
dark.
was going through that for a while. I'm like, did you ever have your vitamin D tested? And she was like, what? You can test for that? I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And hers was super low.
Was
And
it?
lo and behold, once she started supplementing and getting out in the sun more and stuff like that, her mood changed, her attitude
Oh,
changed,
that's
everything
awesome.
changes. So I think it's that. I don't think we realize it, and we think it's something. I thought it was something wrong with me.
Right.
I honestly did. I was like, what is going on? You don't feel like yourself. So
And it could be that simple. Not
Yep.
saying that there might not be something else,
Right.
because you mentioned the hormone stuff too, but
yep.
it could be that simple as getting your vitamin D tested, taking a vitamin D supplement, and feeling completely different.
Feeling much better.
Yeah,
And
that's
it
just
actually
amazing.
it actually
amazing.
goes, I mean, I think I was supplementing it for like 2 weeks, and there was a significant difference
Wow.
in not only my mood, but when we retested.
Oh, sure.
Oh, that's
So
great.
that was
Yeah.
huge. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, of course, you had Dr. Jason at your fingertips. I just tried texting him to see what that normal vitamin D level is. So, if I get the text back, we can talk about it.
I do have him at my fingertips. However, the point of this though is that really you can get on there and as moms, you can research this stuff pretty easily. I
Oh,
mean,
There's so much
Yeah.
information. I was
there's
shocked.
so much. Well,
Yeah.
you did some
Yes.
about sunscreen.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So on sunscreen, I was looking at the dangers of sunscreen because there's so many different reports saying you have to lather up, you have to cover yourself up, and then on the other side of the coin saying no, these guys it's chemicals, it's causing more problems than good. So I started looking into it. And basically, it's UV rays that we're trying to block ourselves from, right? And there's UVA and UVB are the two key ones. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert, but those are the two that we're talking about. If there's UVC, D, E, I don't know. But what we're looking at is UVA is the stuff that burns you. So you will burn, and UVB or
UVA.
I said it backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. UVB is you will burn, and UVA is you will age. And the UVA.
So that's your trick way of saying it, though. The you
Yeah.
will age
You
or
will
you will
age
burn.
or you will burn. And
That's the way to remember.
yeah. So what they do
remember it, though.
is
Yeah.
they focus on the UVB here, in the US because that's what you feel. That's the burn that you feel. However, the UVA causes a lot of damage as well, and that's the one that they're linking to a lot of cancers. So my first problem with sunscreen was they're making it for, sure, the pain, but it doesn't cover us completely. It's not UVA and UVB. And a lot of the sunscreens that we have over here wouldn't be even accepted in Europe because it doesn't have enough protection for the UVA. So,
Surprise, surprise.
And like what we said too about that is like the UVB is immediate. Like
Yeah.
that's what you're going to notice right away, and that's your like short-term effects.
right.
But then when you're looking at the aging thing, like that's something long-term,
It's
and that's what
long-term.
you
It's
said.
playing the long game.
You said that's the one that's linked to more.
Yeah, more problems down
yeah.
the road.
So it's like long-term versus
that's an
short-term.
initial problem with our sunscreens. And then looking into it more, the FDA has 17 approved, I guess, components. Like 2 of them are minerals, and those are good. 15 of them are chemical. So there's 2 different ways to block this stuff. The minerals go onto your skin, and they literally are a physical barrier. So those are primarily zinc oxide and titanium dioxide.
Yeah.
With those are good. You want to hope to get a non-nano because that won't go through your skin and into your bloodstream. Like we're always saying, stuff that's on your skin goes in your skin.
Right.
So if you get the non-nano, you might be a little whiter, pastier,
So
but
How
a
does
that's...
the person know what's
a non-nano
Well,
It
zinc?
would say,
Is that
yeah.
what it is?
And I know that even when my kids were little, I would make their sunscreen, and you can order non-nano zinc right off of Amazon. It's a massive bag for a dirt sheet.
Isn't it like
Bag?
hard to like
Yeah.
mix
Is it
up
powder?
and-
Yes.
Oh, it's
Yeah. So
powder.
it's literally like they're 2 different rocks that they like crush down.
Okay.
And they do get them like micro-ionized or like teeny tiny, so they go on nicer now than they ever did.
And then you just mixed it with
Like a cacao butter and a coconut oil. I mean, there were recipe, something I found online.
yeah.
Yeah. But the deal with, so those are usually where we're better off, is in the minerals. And the chemicals, those absorb the UV rays. And in doing so, they found that they break down up to 90% within the first hour. So you have to keep putting them on. And then what also happens to them is they actually mutate because they're absorbing the sun and they're changing.
Okay.
So it showed that they actually, mutate, go into like DNA damaging free radicals that can lead to cancers.
Free radicals.
Oh.
Yep. So that's the term that everybody hears.
Okay, so you've got the cells, the inflammation, and it's causing the inflammation. So if you got that happening on top of
On
all
top of
that,
everything
it's
else.
changing
Right.
all that.
Mhm.
Right.
Oh my goodness, it's going
Yeah.
to cause cancer. Because what is cancer? It's a cell that works for itself.
Well, and
So
the other
it-
piece of these, like the 15 approved chemicals that the FDA are good with, 9 of them are known endocrine disruptors. So
Which means endocrine
That's-
disruptor,
those
it
are
means
bad.
that it's messing with your hormones.
with your hormones. So yeah, if
those
you
are
break
bad.
that down, endocrine disruptors, they commonly disrupt your hormones, and it's messing with progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, and your thyroid. And what do we have more problems with than anything? Like those 4
Hormone
things.
problems.
Hormone
Yeah.
problems, right?
Yes.
So if you back that up a little bit more, some of the problems that it causes that you can see is abnormal development in kids, and babies and children.
I mean, you're putting this on your 2-year-old,
Oh my goodness.
Right?
Your baby.
10-year-old, yeah.
I mean,
And like they've got early puberty in girls, and how many like 10,
oh my
12-year-olds walking around in Victoria's
The-
Secret because
the
they need
motion
it.
that you're doing
Yeah.
every
Right?
time you're like 10-year-old.
It contributes to low sperm counts and infertility problems.
so this
and
is affecting
Wow.
everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Men, women,
Men,
everybody.
women,
And
everybody.
it's back to sun.
But
it's
why do they?
sunscreen.
Wh-
I mean, it's
why
part
do-
of the.
They're
puzzle.
approved. They're approved. They're not.
Right, known endocrine disruptors. And then if you think about, okay, so the big deal, they're all saying sunscreens about sun and skin cancer, but if you start messing with estrogen contributes to breast cancer, and you
Right,
get those
yeah.
kind of hormone
Oh.
problems kicking in, and that layer of cancer, and including prostate cancer in guys, because now we're playing with estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. And so it's a whole cancer realm that doesn't even get addressed because everybody's just focusing on your skin and, are
And
you
not
burned
getting
and are you
burnt.
not? Yeah, are
Not
you
getting burnt, but it's not
Yeah.
the yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy. See,
yeah,
it's so much more, and it kind of
it's
it reminds me of the
toxic.
Swiss watch principle. It's all connected. Like
it's all connected.
everything's connected. You can't just focus on one thing to make sure you don't get sunburnt and then not get the vitamin D and
Right.
have
Realize all the
and then
problems that
all
that-
the pieces.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and we touched
like
on
a
it a
big
little bit
domino
last
effect.
week because some of the experts, some of the docs I was looking at, they were acknowledging, like the guys from, let's see, professor of biology at the University of Massachusetts, who's the author of Endocrine Society's scientific statement about endocrine disrupting chemicals. He's saying it's going onto your skin,
It's
which means it's bypassing your liver and it's not getting filtered out,
Yeah,
which means
right.
there is validity
Right.
to this kind of slow burn. It's not something that they can link directly because it's not like a, hey, you ate food poisoning stuff and you're
And you get sick.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like
Right.
it's a very slow kind of smoke trail that you're following, but there's definitely smoke. So it's valid concerns.
Oh, very valid concerns. And we have a few articles that talk about
We
all
do.
those things.
Yes,
but
we do.
We have some products here. We can talk about these for a little bit too. These are definitely not the only ones out there that
there
are
are a lot of
good
great
quality,
ones.
but just like we talked about with the makeup and everything, look these things up. We talked about how easy it is to research some of this. Look up on the Think Dirty app. And what is the other one?
EWG.org. Skin
To
Deep,
look
I
up
think
some of
it's
these,
called.
and it's funny because when we were in Hawaii, I bought this one. And it's
I
SPF
remember that.
50. It's the baby sunscreen because I'm like, I'm gonna burn. And we went to that store to get
Yep.
the fruit bowls, and this is what I bought. I mean, I think it was like $100 or so because it's Hawaii, but it's lasted us this long. But it's SPF 50, and now I'm thinking, do I really not need? Do I
Yeah.
really not need SPF 50?
You
according to
do
what
not
you
need
said?
anything beyond SPF 50 because
Okay.
another piece of what they were saying is that the SPF game is a little misleading.
Yeah.
Because 50 will block 98% of the UVA, UVB, whatever it's designed to block. 100, you would think it would, that's going to block double and
Right,
for
yeah,
longer
that's
They
time.
what I
have
think.
that everywhere.
No,
That's what I
it's
would
like 99%. So it's only like this much more, but the chemicals are cranked way, way up higher.
Because
So-
it's a higher SPF.
Yep. So you're getting higher doses of all that endocrine disruption for negligible difference.
So some of the brands we have, Alba, and this is a nice spray.
Yep.
Is this the one you brought?
Yep. Spray is not
Excellent.
necessarily the good part. However,
Should we talk
it's
about
a
spray?
good. It's a good swap though for what. For what? Here, let me just knock those over for
Thank
you.
you.
For what people are you?
Right.
It is a
People
really good
usually
swap.
go to this
There are,
because
a
it's
lot
easier.
of unhealthy brands that
Yeah.
have that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they
Boat
have
or
this.
whatever, yeah.
Pacifica also has one. There's a few other. I've seen them at Target. I've seen them,
Renee and I
Swap
both
evenly.
have stories about sprays.
Yeah,
Let's hear
that's
it.
that's the exact stuff I sprayed on my husband's back. We were doing landscaping this
Oh, yeah.
weekend. And I,
The streaks.
yeah, he's got streaks of like burn, and my fingers are. Oh, now he's not burned over
Yeah.
here. He's
Ooh, that could be a nice
Yeah.
little experiment.
And
little
So that
zebra,
kind of,
little
like,
zebra
It's
action.
quick though. I
It's
mean that is
super
the
quick.
night, especially
what I was
when they're
gonna
in
say.
and out
Yeah.
of like water or and just to spray some on again really quick.
Right.
So
My
we did
husband-
try it. It worked really good.
My husband is home with the kids all summer, and he's very much, we need to do sunscreen, but he doesn't want to sit the 2-year-old down, 3-year-old, to put it
Yeah.
all over his face. I'm like, I'll buy you a spray. This one jumped out at me at Target, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. It's a sunscreen spray. So I showed him last night. I was like, I was trying to sell him on. I'm like, this is going to be great. It was $10 for the bottle. So, I had to sell him a little bit. And I was like, look at how awesome this is. I sprayed it on my arm, and I'll just do it so that you can see. I don't know if are you on the tight shot? Look at this.
Oh wow.
It's a fine mist.
That's it. Like, you can't just spray that on a 3-year-old's face and be like, okay, go outside and play. So, I mean, not to talk smack about this one in particular, but it did not do what I thought it was
Like
going to
some
do.
rubbing required.
You might have to, he's like, so I just sprayed on my hands and then put it on
Yeah,
his face?
and
This
that's kind of-
seems a little bit.
Oh,
This
yeah,
is
this
the
one-
same kind of thing. There's
So
a few
just
that are kind
sprays.
of like that.
Yeah.
It comes out white,
Yeah.
and then you have to rub it in or they turn purple.
But this
No,
one
I'm
says
not-
clear spray.
Yeah.
Maybe
they
that's
look
the
like-
difference. This one says coconut
Wait, but
clear
this-
spray.
But I guess this just is like, you can't just
It's a blob.
walk out.
No.
No,
I wanna
you
see- I
have
wanna
to
see
rub
what
it
this one
in.
is.
and
Well, you
then
gotta
it's-
open
That
it
one's
up.
it's a
Open
mist.
it.
You gotta click.
Clearly don't buy
I don't know,
these.
but trying to spray it the way you are isn't going to work out very well.
Here, let me test it on you. Oh, see, that's what I was looking for.
Perfectly clear. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's not just that it's
But
clear, it's the way that
coconut.
it's sprayed.
yeah.
You said
Yeah.
it's coconut, so you have to be careful. Again,
Oh, yeah.
always be looking at allergies
And
stuff.
that smells Hawaiian. This one smells not as
Yes, it does smell.
as tasty.
It smells good.
Smell this one.
Oh, now it's on my nose. Yeah, that one.
Sorry,
it
my
smells
bad.
like
Protection.
it smells What's that stuff moms
It
always
doesn't
used to
smell
put on
good.
for diaper
Diaper
rash?
cream?
Oh,
Yeah,
it
it
does
does.
smell like
It smells-
diaper cream.
Sorry,
That's
you
that
guys can't
mineral
smell it.
ointment part.
It
Oh,
smells
yeah,
like diaper
Desitin?
cream. Yes.
Yes.
I wonder why. There must be something in it that
I
smells.
was like, well, that's weird. Now it's on my nose.
So I guess that there's our pitch for sunscreens, I guess, but we have
Yeah.
a few other ones.
Yeah, Badger always was like, if you want to go like closest to au natural, almost making it
Mhm.
yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Badger is a great. They have all different ones. They have some with scents, some without scents. But now, the trick with that one, let me just tell you, you kind of gotta get it warm in your hands
Yeah.
before you
Before
put
you
it
rub
on
it.
them, because otherwise it's a beast to try to rub and try to get it on.
Or lay it in the
However,
sun
it's
and
so
let it
thick.
get hot.
Yeah.
However, but it is really great for, I mean,
Yeah.
if you've
I
got
like
a kid
that
who's
brand.
prone to burning or
Mhm.
whatever, like
Mhm.
that you want to put something that's not going to have any toxic chemicals in it, this is definitely one
that's
to
a
go
good
with.
brand. That's what Rachel
Yeah.
said. She said try the Badger brand.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
Mhm.
remember, warm it up.
Warm it up.
It's a thicker one, isn't it?
Yeah,
Too. It's very
it's thicker.
thick. Yeah.
But once you get it,
Warmed up. It spreads.
We have a couple of our favorites in. There's two
Oh,
different
there's an
articles.
article, isn't
Yep,
it?
yep,
Mhm.
on our website. So
Oh,
if
that's
you
right.
if you
Yep.
go and even search sunscreen, they'll pop up so you
Yep.
can see what wellness way people use and like and
Some of our favorites.
some of our suggestions. Yeah.
hmm Awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of options. It's not as hard as it used to be. Probably. I ordered something the other day online, and Kylie was like, "Is it coming Amazon Prime or just regular?" Oh my goodness.
They're spoiled.
They're so spoiled. I'm
I
like,
have no
I'm sorry,
idea.
that's actually ground. It was $8. It's gonna take about a week. So your new swimming suit is gonna take a while to get back in. But yeah, so much fun. It's awesome. Leave comments for us. Let us know your favorite products and check out our website, wellnessway.com. Search for sunscreen in the little search bar.
Yep.
And all of our stuff about sunscreen will pop up there. Make sure you're sending in all of your
idea.
ideas for a
names.
name. We got a lot of mom comments, but we're not just moms, so be creative. Come up with some fun
Be
options
punny.
for us. Be punny. We love our puns. Bree and I love our puns. But
Or witty. Witty's good too.
Witty.
yes.
Let's go with witty.
Witty.
Well, we'll all be back. Anything else to add before we sign off? No?
I don't think so.
Enjoy your days in the sun. Wear sunscreen, but get your vitamin D and get it tested. And we'll see you back here next week to announce the next name of the show. See ya.